Watch. This is cool. This is going to be cool. What's up, subscribers, and whoever's paying attention to me now? I'm going to turn on this light so you guys can see what. Oh shit! What's up? I have this. It's good. This is where the phone is. Let's go. And I'm not going to use the phone. What's up, YouTube people? I have like newfound motivation right now. Oh, I'm Idea, and this is my dog over here, Yuma. He's looking for a mouse that we accidentally killed the other day. Totally accidentally. I mean, we should have, just to make sure that we are pest free. But I don't know. I freaked out and I just stepped on it. Whoa! Look at that. It makes a whole difference there. Face. I wasn't gonna go live right away today. Well, I didn't even plan on it, but I'm going live anyway. I like going live actually because it's more I want to say it's more real, kinda. I'm not sure. I don't even know if people pay attention. I always go live like so late at night or really early in the morning, and I don't mean to. It just happens, you know. So, but my computer does a great job at showing what I look like. 3 times in the morning, 2 times in the morning, whatever times I do this. And I wasn't even ready for it. I just did it on impulse. So you get to hang out with me in my own. I was just laughing because I actually am live. And there's nobody paying attention to me right now, which is all right. I don't know if anybody ever checks out my live stream, but if I stay on all night, probably somebody will pay attention to me. But then again, maybe they won't. So yeah, so see, I don't even have content. I don't have anything to talk about right now. I just kind of just did it because I wanted to. And that's not really planning or wanting to do something. Like, this is hella bright. And since it's like, what time is it? 1 o'clock in the morning. Might as well try to chill out on the light. There you go. See, I can turn this one off. And, or does that help? Okay, so what have I been up to? Oh, I don't want you to see that way. Oh man, it's because I had being honest, and there's a big old mess over there from what I was doing hair today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, could you subscribe, please? Right now, I would appreciate that. And I also would, if you like the video, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in a couple of minutes, but thumbs up, subscribe, like my video, and comment. Oh, you guys probably want to see my dog, right? That's cool. Let me see this. I can turn this back to you, right? I'm like hella brutally honest with you guys, so this is kind of I probably will end up not regretting it, but learning that it's best to not share so much information. And this light is just like, I'm just gonna turn on all the lights in my room. There you go. Oh yeah, you can see me better. See. You know what else is true is that since I'm live, I tend to behave myself a little bit more, which means I'm not getting in trouble, and I don't get in trouble. I'm just saying, like I watch my words, and I'm always trying to think while I'm doing this about how to make a good quality video, or to talk about shit that I think is relevant to going live. I don't know. I mean, like, everybody's probably asleep right now, so that's such a bad idea to go at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And my neighbors are probably listening to me talk, so I feel a little bit on blast, which isn't a problem. I love my neighbors and I love you subscribers. So this is me. This is real me. And I told you that I was gonna show you my dog. So you want me? There you go. See. Now you guys can't see him because he went back. You okay? You just gotta step back this off. Yeah. Okay, so I'm Idea. This is my dog, Yuma, and we live in San Francisco, California. I have 31 subscribers right now, and that's basically who I'm doing the video for. I've had this channel for about, maybe I would say, good 2 years, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 years. Oh, sorry. And I love my channel. I just don't do editing that well, you know? And editing is my weakest point. Let me clean my room while I'm talking. I think my weakest, my strengths are I'm unafraid to go live or talk to you guys because I consider you guys, I don't know, supporters, friends, family. All of you are important to me. Those of you that watch my channel and those of you that watch my videos, I appreciate your support. So without you, I wouldn't have 31 subscribers. So thank you for subscribing. And thank you for watching my videos. And thank you for loving my dog too. Okay, so what was I gonna say? I've had this channel for 2 years, about like 2.5, maybe even 3. And I only have 31 subscribers, but I have a ton of videos, which are all pretty much just videos. They're not planned, and they're not what do you call it? Edited. They're not like, you know how like they used to make videos on MTV back in the day when MTV started. They used to start a music video. Like, I'm talking about the artists themselves and the people that made the videos for the artists. They would run a video all the way through. Like, they would just start the camera and then they get the video and just like get the choreography together, have the camera just walk through the whole set and through the whole process that they planned for the video to be. And if they made mistakes, they made mistakes. If they have to stop the video, then they have to start all over again. So back in the day, they used to make videos from start to finish all in one take. And Michael Jackson did it, Janet Jackson did it. That's all I can think of right now. Because MTV is actually my age. I'm 40 right now. I was born in 1981 in August on the 8th day. So 8881. MTV, I think, is a little bit older than me. I think they started on the first part of the year. I'm not really sure, but I think they're Geminis, but I'm not really sure. Anyways, the videos that they were making were just from start to finish, one take, and they would prepare for it, but they didn't take multiple videos or clips and piece them together. That's why that's what kind of made me justify why I don't edit. I don't know about editing. I kind of get insecure whenever I start editing, and then I'm just like, I don't want that clip in there. I don't want this in there, and then I end up leaving a lot on the editing floor, and I miss out on. I mean, I start to put only really good certain things out in it. I become a perfectionist, and it just totally kills my whole being real with you guys and being real about who I am and what I'm doing, which is also questionable because I don't know sometimes if I should just be open and honest about everything that I am and everything that I think, everything that I do, because there's a whole world out there, billions of people that may or may not be watching YouTube, may or may not be a subscriber, may or may not have run across my channel at all. So sometimes it gets a little bit vague when somebody I don't know knows me enough to say something about me that is usually something that only certain people would know. Because I met one person already that was like, he said it was just odd, you know, how I didn't really recognize that he was he said he wasn't a subscriber, but I mean, like he said that he watched some videos, so that was odd to me because I've never had anybody know me more than I thought they knew me. Excuse me, sorry. I'm a little bit nervous now, but yeah, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Then I've had people yell at me from the street, like or from a car, you know, and they're like, "Hey." I think they recognize my dog more than they do me. So so when they see my dog, they want to say hi, and sometimes they know his name. So San Francisco is a small 8x8 city, and I have local friends here that are friends that are local. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that one or two or three or four are subscribers. So it's possible that maybe they watch my videos, which is the cool thing about YouTube. And I don't mind. I'm so glad that they check out my videos. It's not that I'm being rude or hate on anything, really. I mean, I have my opinions, which is just a normal human thing. But mostly I'm all about including people and stuff. I realize that at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's I'm a little bit sleepy, but you know, it's It's a video. I'm gonna see how long I could actually, because no one has come on since I've gone live, and usually there's like one or two that just come in and out, and them that's that encourages me to stay on longer. But since I've been on, there hasn't been anybody to say hello yet. So I'm talking to Air or YouTube or DLit, people that are checking out my video way later after I've gone live and done this video. My neighbors are probably laughing at me because, no, they're not laughing at me. They wouldn't laugh at me. But they're probably saying, boy, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. He's like, this guy had all his lights on in his room. And he's like talking. I have my windows wide open because it's hot in here. There's a fan up there. And it's the end of summer, so it's a little warm in here. Look at what I did to my hair. I got this idea from a friend who has great ideas, fantastic ideas. Sometimes I'm like, I don't question that person at all because the ideas that he comes up with are really unique, fresh, challenging because they require a little bit of courage and can disrupt my solitude sometimes. Sometimes I see myself doing things that are way off base. Like I'm kind of conservative, knowing that I just kind of like, I kind of keep to myself mostly. I don't really push the envelope. I don't really do too much that is attention grabbing. So coloring my hair was quite unusual for me to do on a regular basis. I don't want to say I'm boring because I'm not, but I am usually the same throughout any given time. But I was kind of particular about my hair because it's pitch black already because I'm Native American and my hair is just pitch black. And then we bleached it and then it was yellow. And then I didn't want it to be yellow, so I watched videos about making it different colors. For some reason, white, like just stuck out. For me, I mean, like I really wanted white hair, and I think it turned out white. But when I did it, it kind of surprised me a little bit too because when it was yellow, it kind of had a little bit of I could see my hair, right? But then when I made it white, the way it is now, it kind of I don't know what happened to it. It just made me look so different. And I still kind of believe that I messed it up, so I'm not really sure. Because it still has yellow in it. And I don't even care about what I really look like. I do care, but I mean, I'm just saying that. I just don't really have a problem with me looking a certain way. I probably should. One time I had a friend tell me, you should care about the way you dress and stuff. See, okay, so this is my problem with it. White, right? And the wall behind this is white. So it almost looks like I have no hair. In a way, it kind of makes me look a little bit different. And it makes me feel insecure about. But I like it. I really do like it because it's no one. I don't see anyone with hair like mine. Hair's not even that big of a deal. Let's see what else. 20 minutes and no one's watching. What's today's Monday, Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. They probably just started out their work week and they're tired. I have to be conscious too about my neighbors and my life here in the SRO building. Did that really happen? It did happen. It doesn't turn off by itself usually. It's because I was leaning on this. Okay, so I been on just chill with you for a bit. I guess I won't be using the light because I really want to. I don't really need to. I want my YouTube channel to become something that I'm proud of, and to to showcase me as a regular human being and someone that's trying to make something that I started into something. You know what I mean? I started this channel about 2 or 3 years ago without any type of plan, without any goal. Well, maybe I did. It was kind of a crappy kind of goal or plan. I met somebody. I ran into somebody that I had the motivation to be friends with and be around years down the road at that point. In a way, I guess I could say I wanted to be a part of this person's life for a very long time. And I know that work would produce money, that I could just go find a job and work, and I could probably be able to contribute to friendships or the friendship and do all that stuff, right? So I thought about jobs and stuff. I don't know how YouTube came to the table. I'm not really sure. But I've also had other goals like overcoming shyness. I wanted to be able to speak well in front of crowds, and overcome personal insecurity. I wanted that person to also be proud of me and what I was doing. Well, doing that kind of stuff on impulse for another person is kind of fickle. It doesn't really pan out because my frame of thought or my frame of future planning and stuff was way different than that person's plans for years down the road. We've grown up. We're different now. We're still friends, and my YouTube channel hasn't really become what I wanted it to become. And I kind of thought that I would be not like Mr. Beast, but at least having fun making videos, and I'd be at least somewhat better at editing and doing those kind of things. Problem is that I didn't dedicate myself to YouTube as much as I wanted to, and that in retrospect, I was actually thinking that I had more capacity to do it. I do, I think, but I'm saying that I was more dedicated then, um, in a sense that I wanted it so bad. I thought, I thought that maybe YouTube was a way to make sure that my future is going to be a part of other people's lives, humanity at first, and I would learn how to overcome my challenges. I'd also be able to edit videos and just be good at that too. I also wanted to learn people skills, like too, and about other people. I figured that I would be meeting a lot more people than I know now. So I was hoping that I would make a lot more friends. So those are those types of dreams or goals or whatever they're called. The perks to being a YouTuber, maybe. That those are things that I dreamt of or visualized in my mind while I was trying to have a channel and create it and make content. It was about a week after that I just that I realized that I'm the only one that's motivated for it, and I'm the only one that cares about it, and I'm the only one that believes in myself. You know what I mean? And that was kind of a damper. So, but I kept doing it. I kept making videos for like a year. I think I kept making a video every day for a long time, and I don't know how I found content. I just kept making videos. My my idea was if I stayed consistent with making videos every single day, you as a subscriber or the potential viewer would see me every day. The algorithm would be advertising me, and more people would see me. There's more chances that my future will be better, that people will know me, and my dream of getting to know people and traveling and all that other cool stuff that YouTubers do and learn and have would actually be realizing as I go. Um, I think dreams are dreams. Goals can be realized easily. Plans have to be planned. I didn't have a plan. I didn't do anything. I just figured that, love would get me there. That, everything would just piece together somehow. I kind of hoped it would, in a way that my life had been going already. I guess I I guess I had some faith in me succeeding at it, if as long as I loved myself, loved my life, and loved the reason why I was going to do it anyway in the beginning. To this day, that person really doesn't know all of the details to this. So if you are watching, I'm sure you know who you are. and I'm sure that you now know why I started a YouTube channel. I don't know if it's going to bring me security. I don't know if it's going to stabilize me in the future. Maybe I'm just making a fool out of myself, and maybe I'm not really learning anything. Maybe people do watch my channel and they just don't say anything, and they think I'm a putz or something like that, which I don't mind, I guess. That's one thing I've learned about putting yourself out there and being vulnerable is that opinions from others and name calling and just things like that are like so petty that I don't really it doesn't bother me so much anymore. There isn't any person on the planet right now that I know of that doesn't approve of me or doesn't like me. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? People are really nice. People are kind and generous, uh, considerate, and most of the time they understand. Um, I love being a human, and I love I love humanity. That's the part about me is that I kind of get a little bit emotional whenever I talk about big, huge, general things like humanity or the earth, um, which is probably bringing up a question of spirituality or God. You know? Um, that's where I kind of run into a little bit of a problem. Oh look, I'm on, I'm showing up on live on YouTube. YouTube's like advertising me. That's so cool. See that? That's really cool. So and still no one's like no one's watching me. So that's all right. I'm just pretty much talking to myself. What was I just saying now? Just now I wanted to say, okay, God. In the last year or so, I've been through some really, really heavy stuff, like internally, and I've questioned my existence. I've even like gone into the past to reevaluate all of my life. To this day, from 1981 to now, I've only lived 40 years. I can't say that I've achieved anything or have anything to show for 40 years. I mean, at first I grew up so poor, you know what I mean? I like really grew up really, 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 really super poor. I was in the middle of nowhere with my mom, and my mom was she was poor too. She grew up in a family that was just super, super third world country in America. We were Native Americans. We were on the reservation. And it was food was something that we didn't have the luxury of as much as we wanted it to be. And the nearest town was like so far away. It was like 40 miles just to get to the nearest store. That's like grocery store. That's like gas. That's like electricity. So we were like pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know why. As a child, I had no idea we were so poor. I had no idea that like we were that bad off. I had no idea that I was wearing the same clothes every day, and I wasn't aware of our lack of money, medical care, our lack of education, I guess. You know what I mean? I went to school, but I didn't value it as much as I do now. If I could, I would love to go back in time and teach myself how important it is to make a life, to learn as much as I can, and to ask a lot of questions. You know what I would tell myself if I could go back in time? Because I remember this day. This day, there's one day when my small, tiny little school um, did a field trip to our lab, our computer lab. That's when computers were like huge and they had green screens, you know what I mean? But you know what was really popular and was new and was useful and was also going to, and is the same now, is coding. That's when coding was fresh and new. That's when Apple computers were like this big, you know what I mean? And at, I would say like 7 or 6 years old, I think that I would have, if I just had someone to say, "Hey kid, do you want to learn? You want to learn about computers? Do you want to learn what they're like, and do you want to learn the language?" Then I think I would have absorbed right into it. I knew there was games. I played games on it when the teacher told me or gave us a permission to do it. I just remember that day when we took a field trip in there, and if I could have some way of communicating to me at that age and telling myself, you know what, just go coding, just learn everything about computers. My life today would be so different because I love coding. I love coding. I'm still learning and I'm still teaching myself uh, coding. I learned HTML. I've learned CSS, and I'm still in Java. But I really love to do Python because Python is endless. Python 3 is like it's I'm on lists right now, so that's kind of cool. And I'm learning that you could do so many different things with that language, and you can. I don't know. Coding might be a passion that I've learned late in life, but it's really going to give give me an edge in the future because in about like maybe 10 years, coding is supposed to be the most sought after type of job. And I'm doing that through Solo Learn online. I've been with Solo Learn for like maybe 3 or 4 years, and it was off and on. But when I started to read more about data science and what data is, and it's, I want to be a data scientist. I want to be a lot of things, but a data scientist has been one of my favorite types of jobs and professions that I want to have. The cool thing about computers and computer programming and coding languages and stuff is that you don't really have to go to a formal college for it. You don't have to have all of those like the bachelor's. I'm so unfamiliar with the formal education system. It's like I think you get a bachelor's, and then you get an associate's, and then I think you go to a two year, and then a master's. I think so. Altogether, you go to 4 years of regular college, and then you go into your desired profession, that would be the master's, and you'd be learning specifically what that is, right? I think that's another 4 to 8 years um, to perfect what you really want to do. And if somebody can stick through those 4 years, including and the four after that, and then the internship or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called when you go after that. That then you're set for life. You have a degree. You should have a good knowledge about what you wanted to do. I'm specifically thinking about maybe being a doctor, because that's what doctors have to go through, 8 years of college and masters and stuff. And by then, they're millionaires and they have the wealth of knowledge and they're hella smart. Oh, I admire doctors so much. That's what another profession that I've always wanted to be. Unfortunately, I didn't follow that path, and I'm striving to be a YouTuber instead for right now. Right now, I want to be a dishwasher or a anything to make money. So I've been doing Uber Eats delivery, and that's awesome. I'm so grateful to you, Uber Eats, whoever made Uber Eats, probably Uber. But man, I mean, like just a few days ago, I was at the end of my brainstorming idea thing. I was just like, how the fuck can I make some money to to get by? And food comes, it shows up when it does, and it's not difficult for me to ask somebody for help, and or if I need help, and I kind of limited myself on asking for help. Like, like I don't have as many friends as I used to. I don't have a social structure like I used to have when I was a little bit younger. So right now, I basically have just a few friends and maybe my mom, who I'm not really talking to right now, but not on a bad note. It's just that I've kind of, like I said, I'm limiting myself to I'm trying to do everything on my own, which is kind of slow. I know I can do it. I believe in myself, and I know that everyone is going through a tough time financially and looking for work. COVID-19 just hit us like years ago, and it's just like still around. So I mean, it killed a lot of people. It took out a good portion of Navajo Nation tribe. So that hit me hard too. It really bothered me because the reservations are like third world worlds countries. In America, they still have places like that. And the reservation is like one of those places. There's a lot of places on the reservation that still have no electricity, still don't have running water. And the nearest town, like I said, is pretty far away. So if somebody got hurt from an emergency, it would probably take a long time to get them to the hospital. And ambulances are available. It's just, they have to travel from the hospital to wherever they're trying to go on the reservation, which is not labeled. Like you can't just say, go to Mission Street at this address, 3048 Mission Street or something, and it's an apartment, whatever. It's not specific like that. On the reservation, it's like dirt roads. If the weather is wet, you have to go through mud, and you have risk being stuck in mud. Who knows? I might have improved by now, by the way. So who knows? It's 2021. They might have put actual roads there, but I doubt it because something about that, about the reservation, that they just don't like highways or something. I'm not really sure about that. But every time I've gone to the reservation, on the reservation, and in New Mexico and South Dakota, in any reservation, it's always been pretty poor, and it's not like the city where they have labeled streets and labeled houses and ways to navigate through the and find somebody there. I am happy about one thing that I've learned about reservations is that the United States government had granted Native Americans the privilege, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but we can say that we are a sovereign nation. So it's like having a country inside a country. We're still Americans. We're still loyal to America, and I'm an American. But on the reservation, it's our own little country. It's not. It doesn't belong to. Well, I don't know how to label it. Sovereign nation is just say it's our own piece of world that we, as Native Americans, can take care of ourselves. We have our own judicial system. We have our own. It's very similar to America, of course. Like America's judicial system is pretty much the same kind of judicial system that we have on the reservation. We can have our own president. We can have our own stuff like that, and it's kind of cut off too. So the government cannot really come in there into the reservation and just take what they want or arrest anybody. They have to go through the Navajo Nation or the tribe before they can just come in there and pluck somebody up. So I appreciate that part of having a reservation. I didn't grow up on the reservation. I didn't. But I know. I mean, like I've lived on the reservation, but I just never. I wasn't raised there, so but I know how sad it is. From an outside view, it's there's cars that are been there that are broken down for like years, and no running water, no electricity, and all that kind of stuff can be really tough. I guess I did grow up on the reservation. What am I talking about? I was like from birth to, I would say, like 8 or 9. I was a little kid sticking my thumb out when we walked to the highway. I used to do that so that way me and mom could get into the city, and the city was like 40 miles away. So you can imagine maybe like a 6 to 8-year-old standing on the side of the road, sticking his thumb out so that I could get my mom to town, where we could get the stuff that we needed, stuff that was really common. The main reason why we went to town or went to the city was for food, for our monthly check, because my mom received GA at that point. It was just me and mom. My dad was, I don't know where my dad was. And our family, I don't know where my aunties or my uncles or anybody were. I just know that it was just me and mom. So we used to hitchhike into town. And it was a big deal to do that at least once or twice a month just to get some money. and then bring that stuff back, like clothes or school supplies or food. What else do we need? Supplies like kerosene for the lamps, uh, matches, things that are just that I can't remember so many things, but I really didn't. I was oblivious to my life as a Native American on the reservation in poverty. I didn't realize that we were so poor. I went to school just thinking that I was a normal, typical human being, and TV was a luxury. I went to school and I saw TV, but I mean, like, and most kids probably had TV. I don't really remember so much about TV. The TVs, I don't know why I'm bringing all this up, but just because I guess I want to express how difficult it was to live on the reservation, and that we as humans and Americans basically have so much in abundance. We can go to the restroom and just flip on the light, pee in the toilet, and flush it, wash our hands, and turn off the light and come back to a room that has electricity. We can turn on the light here and just turn back off. That's a really awesome privilege that America gives, and if you work, it gets better and better, because you'll be making money and you get clothes, and you get fitted, stuff. So when I was growing up, that's how it was from a certain age to a certain age. I'm trying to remember what I was really really trying to talk about. I think I was talking about my hair. I think I was talking about. I don't know. Right now it is now 2 a.m. So no more alcohol in California until 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't have a problem with that, so it's cool. Six o'clock is just around the corner. No, I'm just playing. Make it sound like I'm really into alcohol. I used to be. I was like really good. My friend Cheyenne and me used to go clubbing, right? And we were very conscious of the 2 o'clock time because we had downtime from alcohol. I had a problem with alcohol. And I went to rehab for it. And I don't know if I learned my lesson. I don't drink it as often as I want. Oh, no. I don't drink it as often as I did because I drank it for destruction. I drank it to hurt myself and to make myself not live my life. Life is wonderful. Life is what you make it, and life can be good if you want it to be. Life can change. It requires change, actually. Life is always changing. So a successful person would probably encourage you to be more adaptable to all kinds of different changes. It's important to have that type of mindset if you want to succeed in anything. Social stuff, education, navigating through the system, applying for jobs. You have to be ready for change. And the most beneficial change is the change of your own self. Stubborn kind of attitude is kind of detrimental, and I've learned that the hard way. Actually, I'm stubborn like my mom is, and I'm sure that my grandma was stubborn too. I'm not really sure. I didn't. My grandmother passed away when I was 3 or 4. I remember her being in bed, and she died from cirrhosis of the liver. So she had a drinking problem. Her liver kind of just went out. I didn't know that when I was 3 years old. I remember only that my grandmother loved me and that she talked to me. I don't have specific memories of her anymore, and I don't know what her voice sounded like, but I can say with confidence that I do love my grandmother. Her name was Juanita, and that's a beautiful name. It's the only Juanita I've ever known, and that's my mom's mom. That's my auntie's mom, my uncle's mom. And I heard from stories that she was a free spirit. She was sort of like a tomboy. She wore skirts and she rode horses. And she probably grew up on the reservation. That's probably why she was so able to do those kinds of things, like ride horses and talk Navajo and English at the same time. She married a cop who is my grandfather, and his name was Cecil, which was an awesome name too. He died from a heart attack in the house on the reservation. He went to military, and after military, he became a cop. Cecil Dickey, I think he got his name from the government or the army or wherever he went to serve in the military. I'm pretty sure they gave him his name, which is the family name now. So, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. So, if any of my family are watching, or if someone knows more about it, I'm sure that I may have the right knowledge about it, but I think I could be wrong, because Native Americans, when they were enlisted to serve, to help out with Vietnam, to help out with any of the world wars, they had names that were more difficult to, you know how the military is like, Wilson, get over here. That they like that kind of stuff. It's an easy name. Get over here now. It's just orders and stuff. If a person that doesn't speak the dialects of our languages as a tribe, I'm not trying to just pick on Navajo or South Dakotas, or Sioux Lakotas. I'm trying to say, like, our languages are pretty intense. Navajo is the language that actually helped in Japan. It was coded. They used it to gain an advantage to win the war. I mean, that's awesome. That's our language. I can speak a little bit Navajo. See, just saying that, I said it. I said, I am near the water people, and I'm born for the Mexican clan people. That's how I live as a Navajo person. I think that's what I said. That's the clan system that Navajos use. I feel like I'm repeating this because I was so proud to be a Navajo before I learned that it means absolutely nothing in the city, and it means absolutely nothing to uh, most people because they have no idea what a Native American really is in a world full of billions of people with backgrounds of all kinds. It's it's something to be unique and special. You know what I mean? I'm full-blooded Navajo. I'm full-blooded Native American. That's probably why I'm still alive because I've done some really, really extreme things in my life. I'm kind of I have a mental disability of like depression and things like that, right? I'm not trying to throw that out there as a pity party kind of thing. It's just that I've taken that to the extremes myself and I've attempted suicide and things and I've really pushed this body to the limits. But I didn't reach the limits. That's what I'm saying is that I think being a full-blooded 100% Navajo who is not part this or part that might have an advantage. And this is probably the reason why I'm still alive, but I don't know. I don't know either because you know when settlers came to America, they brought with them diseases and things that Native Americans weren't uh, able to defend themselves against. So it's questionable whether 100% one kind of blood line or whatever is stronger or not stronger. I do wonder why I'm still alive sometimes. Uh, and that goes back to the question of God. Yeah, yeah. Now I know. Now I remember what I was talking about and what I was leading up to. And I just kind of digressed and brought in all kinds of other things. And here I am still like just talking. It's been like an hour. No no one's watching me and I'm not sure if anyone's listening to me. And I've kind of gone through a brief history of what I am and my background and my ethnicity. I love I love that I am first of all Native American. I love that I am an American, a United States citizen, and I vote. I love my life in a sense that I am alive and I am overcoming homelessness. I'm limited in education, but I can learn. I kind of lack a bit of drive to push myself as far as editing videos. I know that I want to be a YouTuber and a coder. I know that I have some unique problems in my life that are pretty personal. And I really honestly doubt that anyone can understand it. Uh, Not only can they not understand it, I'm pretty sure they would just be like, I mean, cool. Okay, so that's where God kind of comes in with as a subject of sanity. You know what I mean? As I was growing up, I would say on the reservation with my mom between the ages of from birth to, I would say, like 12, maybe, no, before that, probably like 10 or 9 years old. From as long as I can remember, from the earliest thing, there was a band that used to pick me up actually, at our home on the reservation and take us to church every Sunday, Wednesday, or whenever we had outings with them. So I was pretty familiar with being a Baptist Christian. I learned about Jesus. I learned about, and my best friend at the time was the pastor's son. He was, in my memory, the coolest person in the whole world. And he was brave. He really spoke well. We used to get fruit. I mean, the first plum I ever had was because because he introduced it to me. He gave me chicken pox. He had spots all over his face and he was itchy all over. And I went to Sunday school and he kind of told me about it. We were the same age. So, I mean, like, he was like my best friend. He probably still is my best friend. He's just, I just haven't talked to him or anything in so many years. Probably, I think I was like 15 or 14 when I last saw him and his older brother, who was somebody that I admired a lot too. Louis. Louis and Matthew. Matthew was my best friend. So, I mean, like, he's the coolest guy I ever. I don't know what he's like today. He probably has a family. He's probably sharing the word of God with the world. I don't know. I really don't talk to God as much as I used to when I was a child. I also learned that I didn't really understand what God was or was, because I don't really believe that God exists anymore, and probably does. I don't know. I've just been through a lot in the last couple of years, which has made me question whether my existence is predestined, planned, God has backup or anything like that. I don't even know if there's a hell or heaven, and I pretty much want to say that I don't believe those places exist, nor do ghosts or anything like that. I remember just being, I didn't know how serious Christianity, Baptist Christianity is, how serious they are about their faith. I was 8 years old. I mean, like, I was dirt poor. I didn't have a lot of influence except for maybe my mom and church and school. I didn't really take school seriously. I don't think I really I can't say that I really took it as serious as I should have. Even though I was only 8 years old, I still had kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, at which I could have, if only I paid attention or if I had an influence like me, going back to myself, like to explain, grammar is important. Numbers and adding them and multiplying them are really important, and that social skills and certificates and achievements are admirable and can make a difference even to an 8-year-old. and that the big things in life that are important are commonly important. I mean, most people want to work, most people want an education, most people value money, most people want a family, and morals and values are completely necessary for those types of things. I personally wanted to become a father. I wanted to have kids. I planned 6 of them, and I took it so like nonchalantly. You know, I didn't really believe that I was gonna. I thought it was just gonna naturally just happen. You know, I was gonna meet someone, and I was gonna become a father. I just didn't know. You know, I thought I was gonna be able to have that in my life, and unfortunately, I'm not a father to my knowledge, and I don't think that I will be a father. So that kind of sucks. I have looked into donating my genetics and having that pass on, but that's pretty odd. It's just something secret and stupid that I do for myself. Because I mean, like, I deserve, I think, chance to live beyond me. And if I had kids, I would love them first of all, and my life would be different. I don't regret a lot of things in my life, and it seems like the one regrets that I have are out of my control. I regret not paying attention at 8 years old in school. I regret, and that's not my fault, really. I mean, like, I didn't on the reservation. There's like absolutely no one. There's animals, there's like sheep and things like that. But I mean, like, there's no neighbor or mentors. There isn't a recreation center so you can play your favorite sport, things like that. You know, just the reservation is dirt, nature, animals, family, and even family there on the reservation is they're the same. They're not. They're kind of the same in the same boat. You know, uh, there isn't a school nearby. There isn't opportunities to do things. It's just reservation. It's just land, and whatever you can do to live on that land, that's all you got. We lived in a shack in a church that was abandoned. Uh, Whoever had that church before we moved in there just kind of left it. It had holes on top of it. There were holes on the sides of it. We had wind coming through. We had rain making sounds throughout my entire life there. And I was a child. I loved my life then, and I had no clue as to anything different. I know that Matthew at school, I mean, at church, he had toys, he had, you know, bunk bed with his brother, he had a room, you know, electricity, a toilet that worked, he could flush things. But that kind of stuff didn't really bother me. Um, because we had our own ways, but it didn't really bother me, and I didn't compare his life to mine. I just know that I had a best friend, and I got to see him on Sundays. I got to see him on Wednesdays, and he always taught me something new. Something new. I think he gave me a couple trucks, like fire trucks and things, so I could take home with me. And I love Matthew. Matthew is so cool, and he probably still is to this day. I'm not really sure what our friendship would be like if we ever met again. And I would be so grateful and happy to see him again. They've always been nice to me. They've always been kind. Which sucks about the whole religion thing is that religion for me is not really going to be a part of my life. It's not a part of my life anymore. And I've only found that it sheltered me or kept me limited from really responding to education. For a long time, I was afraid of sin. I didn't want to sin, and everything was a sin, pretty much. So I didn't do a lot of things that I wanted to do, or that I want to do now. And I probably should have. Example, I don't know. TV. MTV is the same age as I am. I didn't learn about MTV until I was like 21, maybe. But the Beastie Boys are badass. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, that kind of stuff is stuff that church people don't really go into. I don't think that I felt the presence of God then, and I kind of still don't. I know that other people in the congregation did have the transformation. They said the prayer, and they were lit. They had a light about them that was and they were always smiling, and they changed. They transformed from unhappy to happy. They wanted to be more than just a church member. They wanted to be part of its growth. They wanted to talk about God. They wanted to share that happiness that they felt with other people. And they believed in a place after death that they would go to meet Jesus. And they were aware of Satan, who is pretty much every sin that there is, and pretty much everything that is not Christian. So TV, rock and roll music, all that, it's the typical kind of thing that is considered Satan. Satan as the devil with horns sticking on the tail and all that. That is that's just a metaphor, or a I don't want to say it. It's kind of like a mascot, but no person actually believes that a creature of that type exists and can do what it does. Instead, they just say that it's everything that Christianity is not. Satanists themselves don't even believe in Satan. it's pretty difficult to see that. So the common idea of Satan is just the common idea of him. And in some religions, I think they've broken it down to say that God is actually God the Father was he was everything, right? He was everything. Uh, so parts of him became Jesus. Parts of him became Satan. Parts of him became, I think, us, but I'm not really sure. That I mean, like being a Baptist is different from being a Catholic. Catholic is different from being. It's pretty much the same God, the same Jesus, the same, but they're not. They're kind of different in stories and different in beliefs. And some say they're right, and some say they're wrong, and So I mean, Satan was supposed to be Lucifer, who is an angel, and that's in Catholic faith. So it's broken down in so many different ways. I barely remember ever hearing a lot about Satan. I know we talked about Jesus a lot in Bible school, and I know that we learned from the Bible, but there was no mention of really a creature that had long horns and a tail. And when they debuted a movie about it's kind of like Left Behind, that series that is called Left Behind. It's the when Jesus is supposed to have come through the whole world and picked up all of the Christians, and then left the ones that hadn't become Christians yet, and the ones that didn't believe. So what did they call that? I forgot what they called it. Rapture, the rapture. So yeah, I remember that seeing that movie when I was like 4 years old. I was like five. No, I was about like six. I would say six because my memory wasn't that badass when I was four. But I was like 6 or 7, and I really didn't understand the movie. I didn't even know what was going on really. But I remember that there was a boy in there who was talking to a girl, and they were in jail. And they had a book that didn't have words. It only had colors for the pages. And that book I remember from church, because the colors represent the blood of Christ, the new life, and things like that. There's a story with the book with no words, so you can actually tell the stories by the colors to other people that don't know the stories. It's pretty It's just a part of Christianity. Anyways, I remember that, and I remember that scene where the girl was talking to the boy. The boy had a balloon. She told him the story through the book, and she said goodbye to him. She said, "Well, I think they're taking you to a different cell, or they're taking you somewhere else. So good luck and be well. I'll pray for you." And she, it's Christian. It's a Christian movie. So he left her, and they cut off his head, and his balloon went into the air. Just like that was the last time she saw him, and he lived. They were underground. The Christians were underground, and the Satan, or the people that were killing Christians, were forcing them to hide their religion, and forcing them to be in jail and all these other things just for believing in Christianity. So I was probably pretty much brainwashed into believing Christianity. I have trouble with that to this day. Even though I say I don't believe, uh, my brain still does. Even though I resist uh, believing in superstition, like prayer. I want to say prayer is kind of a superstition. I'm probably going to get in trouble for talking like this about religion and on my live stream, and I'll probably get my ass kicked on it. But I'm being honest, and I'm just saying, sharing part of my life that is that I never really talk about with anybody, and I'm doing it on YouTube in front of everybody. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of contradicting everything that is that I say, because I'm pretty usually a very private person. I don't talk about myself too much, and I don't really put myself out there, which is really contradictory of like me as a whole. You know, if I walk out this door and I go out into public, I barely talk to anybody. I just, I go out there, I hang out with my dog, I take him for a walk. I do talk to people. I do say hello to, whoever I see, and I avoid a lot of trouble, or I avoid a lot of attention out there in real life. But on YouTube, here I am just telling all my business, which is really funny. So people that do recognize me or do know me from being a YouTuber, they probably wonder why I ignore a lot of the public people out there. It's not that I really ignore them. It's just that I'm cautious. I've been hurt before. I've been through some things. I remember like 2 years ago when me and my dog were just like walking down the street, and we would always run into, we just, for some reason, we always ran into some big old dramatic fight, like a physical fight. And me and my dog would just get beat up. We would not be involved in any fight. And most of the time I would just be trying to defend us from being involved. We're really good at, sliding past people and doing it quietly and just not making a sound, or we're really good about that. I mean, my dog does like to meet other people, other dogs, and I do ask people if it's okay to my dog meet your dog. And sometimes I am very extroverted, but mostly I'm introverted. And for those few years, every time we went out, it was a knife at my throat, or uh, some person was hit me with their umbrella, and it was I totally didn't deserve. I know that I was defensive, and I know that I didn't tolerate being called names by people that I had no idea why they were talking to me the way they were. Most of the times we just kind of ran into those situations. And when we try to get past them, or we were trying to, just avoid them altogether, somehow we would always end up somehow uh, yelling back, or just saying, no, you can't do that to us, or something. That's how I got these scars on my eyes. It's gotten so big of a thing that since then I've learned to de-escalate my own self. instead of reacting to with anger, or instead of reacting with defensive type of deal. It's mostly just now listening, or trying to relate to someone who is in a mood that is not a good mood. You know, they're obviously not feeling well. They're obviously angry about something, or sad about something, or something. You know, so I have to practice compassion and empathy, or sympathy if I've been through their situation, and try to listen and be involved, but be involved in a way that is helpful or non-escalating. And first help, or wait, what? First, do no harm. I think that's something that doctors, after all their years of learning stuff, say. First, do no harm. And I've always wanted to be a doctor, so I know those kind of things, like learn once, teach once, and do once, or something like that. Anyways, so I was just saying, like, so yeah. So I wonder sometimes when odd things happen, and what people think of me and my dog. If you watch all of my videos, I guess you could see that I'm just a regular person with big dreams, with hardships, pretty much just like anybody else, but maybe a lot different. Maybe I've seen some really, really weird stuff in my life, which might be because of my subliminals. I do listen to subliminals, and I have been for like 2 or 3 years now. So I've been consistent with some of those, and some of them I just didn't really care about. So I would just play it and not even look at what it is, or what the messages are underneath all the music. Like Joker subliminals and Riddler subliminals. They have some pretty extreme beliefs in their subliminals. There's one that's like, I don't give a fuck, that, and the affirmations underneath those that music. I remember that one specifically because it just says I don't give a fuck subliminal, right? And the Riddler subliminals makes it. And Riddler is from Batman. Batman's villain is Riddler. And Riddler is kind of he throws out riddles out there for his victims and Batman to solve. And if they can't solve it, then so what? He's gonna kill them and whatever else. So I listened to this one, like, I don't give a fuck. And I listened to it over and over and over and over and over and over. I just kind of went at it, just like, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. And I had apathy for everything. I wasn't looking for trouble, but I was, if somebody was like telling me, you know, my dog just died yesterday and I'm the saddest person in the world, I would be unbothered by it, and I just didn't even, I wouldn't say, oh, that's so sad, I'm sorry about that. I wouldn't care. So as much as I listened to it, it was becoming a part of me to say, okay, so what? And that's not nice, and that's not helpful. I think I did that to one of my friends who did lose his dog, and I really didn't pay attention to any of it. And I realized maybe like 6 months later, maybe less than that, that his dog was gone and not around anymore. So I asked him about it again later, and he said, "Yeah, my dog did die, and you were pretty much a dickhead about it, and you didn't care about me bawling my eyes out." And I kind of think it's funny a little bit because that's totally not my character. I usually feel something for other people, and if I'm in a bad mood or in a bad space in my life, most of the times I just won't won't feel anything. But I try to, it's important to care about people. It's important to care about yourself, and it's important to care about the ones that rely on you to for food and rely on you in housing. Right now, it's my dog that relies on me, and there are times when I just feel so apathetic or so fed up with life that I don't really care about him anymore. But I do keep my word to him. I promised him that I would try to help him throughout his whole entire life, that he would only have me as the one owner throughout his life. I lost him 2 times. One was on purpose, but he always came back and he always forgave me. And I'm not like that anymore. I love my dog. I really do love my dog. It's the responsibility and the obligation when it's an obligation. Like some days I just don't want to get out of bed, or I just don't want to go outside to take him to the restroom, because it's not because I'm refusing to take him to the restroom. It's just that I don't want to go outside. I just don't want to be outside. And when he needs the restroom, I have to go outside. So it's making me and forcing me to go outside when I don't want to go outside. And that in itself is a whole chore too, because people do see him and people do see me. So it's not a bad thing to come up to me and say, "Hey, you're outside with your dog. How's your day going?" And just sparking a conversation with me. I'm open to it. I will talk to you. And I tried my best to be always cordial and always to respect another person. And sometimes I slip. I'm a human being, I'm like that. But some days I just don't want conversation. I don't want to fake being in the mood to talk. Sometimes I just hate the world, and I hate my life, and I hate faking it to other people, man, pretending that I'm happy and to pretend that I'm doing just fine. And that's probably a typical normal thing that people go through. I'm not sure, because I'm not typical normal people. Like I'm saying that I'm not the general population, so I don't know. I just read a lot, so I mean, a lot of times I've read that people have their down days and they just don't want to do things, and they do feel forced to have to go outside when they have to take their dog out. So I mean, like those days when I'm like that, I feel apathetic to his cause, and that I don't want to take him to the park or talk to anybody at the park, so I won't even leave the room. That's how bad I fucking get so sad about life and bitter and angry. There's a lot in my head that just that I don't understand. Why me in the desert? Why me with no education? Why now with no job? I feel like I've wasted 20 years of my life on stuff that isn't important, like God or Jesus or Satan. That I could have done a lot more without. I try not to be hateful or bitter or blame. And there's no really anyone to blame for me being 8 years old and going to church and having a best friend at church and learning about how to be a Baptist and be a Christian. I can't blame God because God to me isn't real or realistic for me to believe in. I mean, my life is a testament to the non-existence of a higher power such as God. Because God's supposed to be all powerful, all knowing, and time traveler. But but there's no God. I've suffered a lot of abuse and a lot of things in my life that made me question why, or it made me ask, why does evil exist, and why does Satan have so much that is actually really happening, but nothing from the other side is helping or defending and or stepping in to promote wellness and happy and the good stuff, you know? Where's Jesus? Where's God? Because it's obvious that Satan's crew showed up, and it's obvious that they are kicking everybody's ass. But what about the other side? You know, stuff like that. I just can't believe anymore in something that isn't going to show up or something that isn't helpful to me. Prayers were never answered for me, and maybe I just didn't understand it. On that note, it's 2:50 in the a.m. It's the witching hour at 3:30 or something like that. So I'm gonna cut my live stream off, and no person actually heard me talk about all of that stuff online. So I had fun talking about my past and the way I am right now. And my live stream is going to be on YouTube anyway. And whoever has 2 hours to listen to me talk about Christianity and God and myself and my dreams of becoming a YouTuber and stuff like that, and seeing my skateboard and seeing my room all together. I love learning and I love knowledge. And that's why those posters are up there in the back. That's the human body right there. That's our skeletal system. Those are the bone system. That's the bones that keep us standing and give us the privilege or whatever to point, to do this. All those tendons and muscles make it possible for us to clap our hands, to use our fingers and make a heart, with our fingers or whatever, everything that we are is that muscles, blood, water, hearts and organs, our livers, and it's all run by the brain. Our brain inside of our big old head, protected by a really thick skull. It's really difficult to get in that head if somebody hits you on the head. Most likely, it's just going to kind of crack. The thing about your brain will be still safe, mostly. If you shot yourself in the head, the bullet would ricochet off of the inside of your skull, and that's what would cause the most damage. That's fact, and researched on that. So our skulls are pretty thick. And then next to that, I have the world map and the stars. The how do you say? The evolution of Earth around the sun. That's the Milky Way up there. So those are things that I myself have. I just love knowledge. You know what I mean? And I wish that at 8 years old that I had paid more attention to what was being taught. There's what is that called? The astrological chart, which is intriguing to me because tarots follow the zodiac system and just the animals themselves and the constellations are a big deal to me. Then there's our planetary solar system and the sizes of all of the planets that we have and how far away they are from us. And there we are, our small little Earth, right next to Venus and Mercury, next to the biggest star that we know, the reason why we're alive. We're so close to the sun. And Mars is just right there. And that's where we want to go, It's like, what are we gonna do after Mars? There's Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. It's like the moons of Jupiter, I think we're part of a plan that where humanity can try to go to afterwards, but it's none of those places are permanent places for us to live. I mean, after we leave Earth and we try to go to Mars, by then Earth is going to be starting to it's already starting to change and may not be habitable anymore. So we might be just bouncing from moons to planets. So we might just be bouncing around for a little while. That's if humanity can survive space and survive all of that. And I really do hope it does. I mean, I hope that we as human beings can either find peace or have peace on this planet and make our home a lot more, make it longer for us to stay here, or we find something else. Because in the next 10,000 years, I think we're gonna become overpopulated. We're gonna have a limited supply of everything. We're not gonna be as luxurious as we are right now. Who knows about our renewable resources? Technology is, it might be in technology that we succeed in surviving in this huge universe full of nothing. Who knows, we might even run into some extraterrestrials. Or we might invent something. I have no idea. I won't be alive for it. I know that I won't have any children to help or contribute towards that cause. And it's kind of bittersweet for me because I still can have kids. I mean, I still have the possibility. There's still that out there. I mean, it's not the end of the world for me, and it's not the end of life for me yet. So it is possible that, I might actually, who knows, lightning might strike. I don't know. Today is today, tomorrow's tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Tomorrow always shows up. You or me or my dog might not be there, but tomorrow's always there. And it might be a day when perfect lightning just and sparks something or does something. Who knows? Maybe there is a God, and maybe God will alleviate our stresses on where we're going to go next. But I do hope and encourage that we don't kill each other first. There's a lot going on in our world right now. Not just COVID, but in the middle. A lot of people just got kicked out of their country there, and they're finding sanctuary here with us. And there's nuclear stuff out there. I feel uneasy about a lot of that kind of stuff. And if I had children, I know I have nieces and nephews. I have family that is going to live beyond me. So I feel for my niece. I feel for my nephew because they're way younger than I am. I feel for one of my best friends right now. You know what I mean? Like, he's only 18, and it's like, I don't know what I just don't know. I just hope that somehow we figure it out. This is all coming from a space of yesterday was full moon. The day before was a full moon, and on those days I kind of get like I start to I kind of get emotional a little bit, and I kind of start to get wonder. It's kind of sad to me a little bit how life is just it's easy to destroy, it's easy to ruin, it's easy to hate, it's easy to discriminate, it's easy to just be an asshole. It's easy to hurt somebody. It's way easy to call them names. It's easy to see color first. It's easy to make opinions on who sleeps with who and put them in that category. It's so easy to hate somebody. And with the problems that we're having, finding a new home or trying to survive is, I think, more important. And we need everybody. We need everybody. Because ideas are possible. I mean, if you get one person to give a whole bunch of ideas, then that's what it is. But if you get two people or three people coming up with the ideas and feeding off each other and their knowledge and their experiences help. And I think we need that more than we need to limit because of those stupid reasons. I think that I believe that the most the people that struggle the most are usually the ones that have the brilliance about them. I'm not saying struggling and adversity makes geniuses out of the world, but I'm just saying like everybody is important. Every life is important. We live on this planet with plants, animals, and human beings. At least try to live in 2021 and see beyond what we used to think about in the 50s, in 1950s, in the 1970s, in 1990s. Be grown is what I could say. I don't even know why I'm giving advice out, but I'm just saying that and I should practice all of this that I'm saying too. It's just that the last couple of days I've been kind of experiencing a lot of discrimination on me and my choices in life. I've also been subject to religion. It's just been nonstop. Religion. Pray. And it's just like, come on now. It's like, first of all, I just don't believe in that. That will make a difference for me or anyone. And it's tough to be a devoted church person. And I've been there, done that, and I just don't find it helpful for me. So I just didn't appreciate so much forced prayer and forced religion. So that's been making me sad a couple of days in a row. So I'm just saying that we should try to get along more. And it's almost the witching hour. So thanks for being who you are today. Thanks for watching my video, my 2-hour video. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for being my friend. Thanks for being my dog's friend. Thanks for checking out my video. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking my video. Thanks for commenting on it and telling me what you think about my life and what you think about my channel and what you think about how I can improve. Thank you. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you so much. I'm Idea, that's Yuma. This is my room. I'm in San Francisco, California. It's 2021. Good night or good morning. I'll see you guys again soon.